Hey everybody, it's Kaboom and welcome to today's video. In today's video we are going to be building the Hovercraft. This video came about when I saw a bunch of really awesome builds on our Discord server that were Star Wars themed, and I wanted to build a hover jet. One similar to the one that Luke uses, and through the process I came up with hiding these balloons. So in today's video I really want to show you guys some of the stuff that I learned from building this, and I think a lot of the science stuff and the experiments that I basically spent several hours doing to balance this thing out so that it didn't end up with the nose end up or the rear up in the air could be very helpful for you in your build. So in this video I'm going to go ahead and do this hovercraft build piece by piece. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the science behind the build, because I think really that's what you guys will probably be the most beneficial to you when it comes to adding this to your own builds. So let me shoot over here to this other side and we will get started. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to say that your world may vary from my world. Balloons do weird things. Placing them may or may not work in your world. Sometimes a large balloon will lift things all the way up to the very top of the sky, and then other times they will get nothing off the ground. So this is the build that I used in my world, and you may have to customize your build to work in your world. With that said, let's get started on the build. We're going to start off with a medium dynamic foundation plate. After that, we're going to grab the 2x8x2 platform bumper. We're going to put 2 of them on there, and we're going to put 2 of them on there. After that, we're going to grab the vehicle base number 2, and we're just going to move that all the way down to where it's flush with that edge. And then we're going to fill this in like that. And then we're going to put another layer on top of that. Then we're going to come over this side and repeat the process. At this point, we're going to bring in between these two little caution signs, and we're going to bring this one down to the top of that caution sign. So it should look like this right here. You guys can see that. And then we're going to repeat that over here like that. You can see how it's just right on the other side, centered between these two little dots, and then you can see the space that's between this line and that line. Now I'm going to use the noble floors for this because the coloring matches the orange on the build, and Luke Skywalker's hovercraft was all orange. It was very dusty. So, but you can use free parts at this point. Everything on this build can be swapped out with free parts. With that said, let's go ahead. We're going to bring this all the way down and center it. It's going to center on its own. And then we're going to bring it out and then go down as far as you can go. Like that. And then we're going to put 2 floors on top of it. Your top floor is going to be just like half a board above the arm coming out. Now we're just going to repeat that same thing over here. Now we're going to grab the vehicle base number 1, and we're going to put it right here and right here. Now we're going to grab our noble thin floor again. We're going to line it up with this bottom board down here. Then we're going to nudge it out, and then we're going to fill that in like that. And then we're going to repeat this on the other side. Okay, at this point, you're going to place down 3 balloons to lift this side up. And then we're going to get this board here. And then we're going to nudge it in too. And then we're going to snap there and place that in. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to knock these balloons off. And be sure to get your resources. And on this side, you may need 4 balloons. Wait for the ship to stop moving. remove your balloons, get your material back. Okay, so far I've been on the ground. I'm going to fly in the air now just to show you guys what it should look like so far. But I'm trying to build this on the ground as if you were building this in survival mode. We're going to grab our small thrusters. We're going to put 2 up here. So 2 on both sides up here. And then back here we're going to put 3. So now we have our thrusters in here. These will be used for turning. We're going to set these thrusters on this side to channel 1. And up here we need to go to the opposite side. And we need to set these to channel 1. Be sure you turn off channel 3 because you don't want these coming on during that time. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to set these to channel 2. And we're basically just going to do the same thing. It'll probably be good just to double check these because the floor is going to go on in a second and it can be a little bit of a pain to take the floor off if you find out something's wrong. Okay, so now we're going to place the red balloons, and it's very important that this part is done correctly because if it's not, you will end up with a whole lot of problems. We're going to put 1 balloon on the back here like this, and then you're going to have a balloon there and a balloon there like that. Now we're going to put our floor on these 2 sides here. And then back here, we're going to put our floor on also. So we're going to put on 4 floors here and then stop. Then we're going to grab our balloons. And now here, whatever side you put 1 balloon on, you're going to need to put the other balloon on the other side. And then 1 on this side. Whichever side you put this middle balloon on, you're going to repeat it on that caution sign thing right there. As you can see, we are starting to float in the air, and that's one of the reasons why we put the floors on, is because if we didn't have this weight here, we would get pretty high pretty fast. So now we're just gonna add the floors, and it should bring everything back down to the ground. Now we're gonna switch over and grab the 8x2x1 floor. And we're going to put it back here and back there like that. After you've done that, grab the large thruster, put 1 there, put 1 there, and put 1 there. Now these are already set to 3, but you can just make sure. All thrusters are naturally set to 3 when you put them on. So now we have 1 2s there, 3s there, and now we need to put our seat on. I like to grab the large driver's seat. And I like to put the seat right in front of those arms, centered. Now you have your 2 buttons to turn to the left and to the right. And now you have your rockets. And as you can see, we're already off the ground a little bit. And that's what we want. We want to be off the ground and then basically gently going back to the ground when needed to. And if you find yourself in the air, this is really cool. Now, I'll be honest with you. It took me, I wouldn't even say that I'm fully licensed to drive this hovercraft. But after driving it, I learned some tricks. Like, if you start going in the upwards direction. Now, let me see if I can show you guys like this, okay? So, let's say you're coming up a hill and you get some air like this. Now this actually isn't that bad, but let's say you're starting to go up in the air. You can spin your vehicle around to now where you're facing down, and you can use that to get you back to the ground. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into the science part of this, and let me explain just some of the things that I found that I incorporated into my build. This is like number 6 of all the builds, and several of the first ones were very it was very frustrating because I was ending up with a ship with either the nose end in the air or the rear in the air. And I really want to show you guys the science of how I figured out to basically stop that from happening, so that if you decide to add this into one of your builds, you guys won't have to fight with it quite as much as I did. Okay guys, so here's something that you need to know about when you're doing the hidden balloons. You have more than just one force point. If you put this here, you know that that balloon is wanting to, like all the balloons in the game want to be in this position. That's their home. They want to go home. The balloon is always trying to go home, which is this position. When you're building with these balloons, it's always good to keep in mind that if you're going to have one balloon over here that's trying to go home into that position, so you're getting lift up and you're getting this diagonal pull, put a balloon on the opposite side. Now, it's almost like the balloons are countering each other out, and now you're just getting that lift in the upwards position. The other thing that I realized and found out is I was placing a lot of my balloons, let's just call this like northwest position, across from each other like this. And basically what I was doing is I was making a teeter-totter. So these two balloons, they want to go up, and these two balloons want to go up. And if you add weight, or not even just weight, if you add, let's say you're going up a hill, like over there, these balloons will start to lift up. And as they lift up, they will start to be like, hey, we're getting close to our home. Let's go there. And it will pull your build. If you get in one direction enough, it will pull your build up into the air, and instead of the front end coming down, the balloons will stabilize themselves by doing this. And so if you find that to be an issue, there's a little trick. So instead of putting all your balloons, let's say north and south, like this, you want to put balloons east and west. What this does is it gets rid of the teeter-totter. And so you can have more variance going up and down hills, and it will ride itself out. So instead of all the force going up like this, you have force in these four corners that are kind of counterbalancing each other. This right here is the biggest thing that I learned, that anyone who's hiding balloons, just be super careful that you don't do all your balloons just in one way, one direction, because you will end up with a nose tilt or a rear tilt, and it can be pretty frustrating. So let me show you over here real quick how this is. And if you remember from the build, you saw that we actually did this in that build. All right, get our ship back. Okay, so here are our three balloons. We got this balloon is going north-south, this balloon's going north-south, north-south, and then these are going east-west. So while these balloons are fighting against each other in the weight of the vehicle, these two balloons are now fighting to stabilize the left and the right. That's why we had equal numbers of balloons this direction, because the weight to the left and the right of this vehicle is equal. The same weight over here as the same weight over here. And the reason why we can get away with only one balloon here instead of two balloons like this is that if you look, the rear back here has more weight than the front part. So these are all things that you'll have to calculate into your build if you decide to hide balloons on any of your vehicles. And this is just me playing around with this for 6 hours, trying to figure out how to build Luke Skywalker's hovercraft in Lego Fortnite. So guys, if you found this video helpful, would you help me out by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more videos like this? Be sure to join our Discord and show me any builds that you guys use these tricks in. It's so encouraging when I see those things. And as always, by God's grace, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!